we need to know. At least in the job, you may have WebSphere, otherwise Oracle application server. But if you know Tomcat, they will consider us. And once I come to the console, say here, what are the different type of instance pricing options we have, we'll discuss. So all these days, we used on-demand instances.
The screen is not
One
visible.
second, one second. So here, if you come to ChatGPT, so what I type is install Tomcat on Ubuntu. If you have a Gmail account, you can log in with the Google account itself. No need to create an account also. Then here it is giving the steps like sudo apt update, sudo apt upgrade, install default JDK, most of the Tomcat. Here this one small challenge is there. You go to the visit the website and get the latest version of the Tomcat URL and give this one. So here what you need to replace, you need to get that one. So now if you go for Tomcat installation, where is there? Okay, say how to. Or maybe go for Tomcat downloads. Say 10 if you want, or 9, 8, different versions of that you try to install. Now here you go for this, copy this link. What they're telling in the chat GPT is, wget the download URL. So if you go to the notepad, the path. Which version this is? 10.10.1.16. You want the older version, try to install Tomcat 9 also. Okay, so then that exact version you need to uh, like extract that, then move that into OPT Tomcat. Then they open one. Even you can use VI editor also. Try to work with VI editor. If you have any issues on the VI editor, we'll discuss in the tomorrow class, because we need to know VI or Nano or VIM. So these are the three editors we have. Okay, so mostly people will use VI or Nano. Vim is also one of the editor. Just like our Notepad, we have our WordPad, we have in the Windows, Linux having these editors. If you want to edit any files or modify, then we are going to use these editors we are going to use. Okay, so these try to install here, Tomcat, MySQL, all this. And I'm going to explain you the instance types what we have. Okay, so what are the types of on-demand instance? Say by default, all these days, we have created a lot of instances, right? That instance, what we have chosen is on-demand instance. What is the meaning of on-demand instance is, we are going to pay the money for hourly basis. How the billing would be in the on-demand? It would be hourly basis we are going to get it. So hourly basis we are going to install the like on-demand instances. Okay. So then what is the meaning of on-demand is, once you provision the instance, immediately it's available, or after 1 week they're available. So once you click the instance, all of like within 3 to 5 minutes, you are going to get the instance. Okay, so by default, if you don't choose anything, we are getting the on-demand instances. On top of that, we have spot instances. So what is the concept of spot instances? Say spot instance, I'll explain one example. Unused resources in AWS data centers available as spot. I'll tell one example, maybe real time example. We went to a like hotel. No like rooms are today booked. then we can try to negotiate with them, right? No one is available. Can we get it for cheaper price? Okay, so then what they tell is, okay, today those are not available, but after 1 week, most of my rooms are reserved, or after 3 days, those are. Till the time those are, till the time those are unused, or
Unused one.
yeah, those are unused one. So those kind of in the AWS data centers also, we have lot of host and lot of resources like CPU, memory. Those have been not used by anyone. Okay, so those unused resources in the data centers, we are going to get it as spot instances. What may be the advantage you are expecting here? What may be the advantage you are expecting here?
Immediate usage.
No, no. Anyhow, even on demand also immediately available, right?
Yes.
What is advantage? Okay.
Maybe amount is very
Yeah,
less.
80% also there may be chance of less price. 80% also we may get the cheaper prices. Till 80% or 90% also we can get the cheaper prices with the spot instances. But here we have a risk. What is that risk is, if someone reserved those instances after 2 days or 3 days, they are going to provision the resources, then evacuation is going to happen. That means our instance is getting terminated, and we have a very short term notice of 2 minutes only. Okay, so that means they're terminating our instance, and our resources has been given to others who already reserved those. Or if the normal workload comes also, spot instances they are going to remove or terminate. Are they giving any good notice for us?
No.
No, very short term notice, and that notice period is only 2 minutes. Within the 2 minutes, they're going to terminate our instance. Then if it is a critical server, like maybe database or any production server, is it safe?
No, not safe.
No. Then for which type of servers is it recommended to go for that? Okay, so I have my workloads. Okay, so I have my workloads like where I want to run the agents kind of thing. There would be a lot of analytic kind of agents. That means like it's only used for the computing. Even that instance also deleted also. The main data has been stored in the important servers. Even this slave kind of thing or agent is down also. There is no problem. Okay, or maybe dev QA environments. Even that loss also is bare. Okay, not a production kind of servers. Otherwise, it has been attached to auto scaling and load balancing. 20 to 30% of servers, even if those removed, also not an issue. But what is the overall advantage we are getting? What is the overall advantage we are getting?
Price wise.
Yeah, price is the less, but for production servers, is not recommended to go for this. For the production servers, is not recommended to.
Testing purpose.
Testing also sometimes again,
use.
I say suppose we may require 4 days the testing environment. If that is terminated, again you need to do the clean, right? Again need to start. Okay, maybe there would be the agents, maybe blockchain kind of agents, analytics kind of agents. Just those are using as the slaves kind of thing or nodes. Masters or managers have all the important data. These are just I'm running for mining purpose or for analytics purpose. Even if they deleted also, I'll create more agents. That's just used. It's used for only for the computing kind of thing.
Okay.
So data has been stored in the important servers only. So in the data analytics, we may require to process the data, Hadoop kind of clusters or Hadoop kind of nodes. We may require maybe 100 to 200 nodes also. We may require to process that millions of data to process. Okay, that agents we are going to get. Even one agent deleted also, we don't get any loss of the data. Are you able to understand? So for that purpose, we are going to use spot instances. And one more type is there here in the purchase option, reserved instance. What is the meaning of reserved instances? Again, I'll take the example of hotel itself. We are going to get for 1 year you are going to stay. Then if they give the bill for hourly or daily, will you accept?
No, long term you can.
I may negotiate. No, I'm staying 1 month or 1 year. Give me some, say, for longer term service like 1 to 3 years. If you are going to keep, then 30% of the benefit we can go if you choose reserved instances. So in the overall price compared to hourly billing, the overall price. So most of the servers, important servers, I want to keep for 1 to 2 years or 3 years also. In those situations, better to go for the reserved instances. Reserved instances are recommended to go. Okay, then we have one more type is there called as scheduled.
It is like business hours, it will be active.
Yeah, business hours it can active, and one more thing is I don't want today. If I click with on demand, immediately it's available. I want on maybe December 15th or December 10th, like this, because some particular hardware may be not available. So don't expect everyone will take T2.micro. I want a special hardware. What is the risk for me? That hardware may be not available in the day when we want. That is the reason a lot of companies will schedule before itself. And if that is not available, AWS may inform us before itself that's not available in those days. Till the time those resources AWS is using as
I think these cloud services are providing all the instances like whatever the requirement, right?
yeah, but we have a lot of categories, right? Each and every instance or hardware, there is no guarantee it would be available at any point of time. Say T2.micro may be available at any point of time. There are maybe some specific hardware. They will also have a shortage of those. And in that zone, it may be not available also. Or in that region, that hardware may be not available.
How they will configure?
Say here, I'll go for say here we have the different type of families of instances. What is the first one? All these days we choose T2.micro or T3.micro. It's not only that, these all the different families we have. Those all purchase options. These all instance types. Okay. So if you don't know the purpose, basic purpose, use general purpose. You want more computing. Okay. It's a very high-end computing kind of things. Okay. More application processors. Otherwise, like maybe processing, I said about like analytic kind of servers, I said, or maybe high performance web servers, say, where millions of users. So these all we need to suggest to the client why they're going to use these servers. But there is no guarantee. If I tell C5.n, in all the regions, C5.n may be not available. Okay, then you may choose this one, may be the higher one. But the price also varies between C5n and C7GN. Okay, and if you want memory optimizer, then we have R class families. And accelerated HPC, it's called as high performance computing. Okay, so here accelerated computing, even high performance computing. Very high-end servers will go for this kind of HPC class. So it depends upon the client requirement. We need to suggest which class of family and what is their budget also accordingly we need to tell. Here they'll give the pricing also for each and every instance type also. Okay, so based on that calculator, we need to tell. And on-demand instances, these are all the purchase models. Okay, so saving plan, what we are going? Okay, they are telling 72%, but minimum 30% of the price we can reduce if you go for reserved instances. And EC2, they are claiming 90% up to but at least 50%, 30 to 50% of the cost can be reduced with spot instances, because everyone can't go for 3 years or 4 years, right? As they're giving the discount. In those situations, spot instances also is fine. Any doubts on this? And we have the different type of instance families, mainly categorized into general purpose, compute optimize, memory optimize, accelerated computing, storage optimize. At least among these, one class you should able to tell. And you go for general purpose only. T2. Why we are choosing here T2.micro? Why we are choosing T2.micro? Because that is available at free of cost. But don't expect every client will use T2.micro only. Do you get the point?
Only 22.micro is free. Rest are
At,
the all chargeable,
no,
right?
maybe one more, two more also they may give. In some regions, T2 is not available. There they given T3.micro. In the newer regions, T2 hardware is not available for them. Then they're giving T3.micro. So T2, these all hardware family. Micro, all these are the types of those. And how many virtual CPUs we are getting with T2.micro?
One.
1 GB RAM. T2.2x large, 8 virtual CPUs,
32.
and 32. But don't tell only this class. You pick around 5 to 7 classes and tell those. So as you maybe C5N. In this again we have different classes. C5N extra large or 9x large. Okay. So maybe this one 16 CPUs and 42 GB RAM. Like this you try to tell. So mostly in the real-time production servers, minimum will have 8 to 16 CPUs and more than 16 GB virtual RAM is the minimum configurations in the real time. Is it fine?
Yes.
So we are choosing T2.micro. It doesn't mean and all the hardwares what I want, my architect suggests to go for C5N 4x larger. Don't expect infinite kind of resources. Say you don't get a shortage 99%, but sometimes the risk also is there. Sometimes risk is there. That is the reason most of the companies what they will do. Before itself they will schedule those. Okay, at the time when they want, they will schedule those instances. Okay, then we have one more option is there. What is that is dedicated host. So what is the meaning of dedicated host is, so we have installed the instances, right? Those all running in shared host. What's the meaning of shared host? One hypervisor is there, that's mostly gen source. On top of that our instance is running like this. Even some other some hundreds of people instances also running in that server. Do you get the point? But some companies may not accept like that. They want in a host. Host is a physical server. In that it's not possible for us to take, say suppose you go to a hotel, can you tell I want the complete hotel? So which type of people will go for a complete hotel? Any idea which type of people may go for a complete hotel?
Any function?
Yeah, maybe say suppose a politician, maybe Amit Shah came to Hyderabad. Okay, then he will take the complete Novotel, maybe Shamshabad or high tech city like this, because for security purpose. Second one, maybe a company is going to organize an event. They want all their employees only want to stay. Okay, but normal people, is it possible?
And
Normal
how
people, yeah.
and how they divide the host into VMs like virtual machines
That
are?
is the responsibility of the hypervisor. You no need to worry about that. AWS will install Gen source on top of those hypervisors.
Okay.
So that's all the automation is abstracted for us. So the end user no need to worry. Say you are using a mobile tower, mobile, right?
Yes.
Are you installing mobile tower or are you managing mobile tower?
No.
That is the responsibility of
Providers.
provider. Here also the host, hypervisor, all this is the responsibility of the cloud service provider. The end user doesn't know about what's happening. But we are trying to get some more exposure on that because I am from virtualization background. I know what's happening in the back end of the AWS once we create or launch an instance or what snapshot we done. So these all virtualization backend guys can understand all this. So now here, what is the difference? By default, we are getting a dedicated host or shared host. By default, are we getting shared host or dedicated host?
Dedicated host.
No, no. If you choose dedicated for the complete server, you need to pay the money.
Okay.
So we don't have that much budget, right? Some companies will prefer others VMs or other instances don't want to run in my host. They may go for
Said one.
what is the advantage?
In said one, I think many VMs you can install, right?
Yeah, but here also they'll run multiple, but those all belongs to them only. They will also run multiple instances, but all those are belongs to their company. Otherwise, only one instance on one dedicated host also, but that's very expensive because we need to pay huge money for the host. As of now, only for the instance we are paying, not the complete host. But some companies want to run 40 to 50. Anyhow, they are going to run. Then they may go for. But what is the problem if I have all my missions are my own itself? If that is down, what's going to happen? Risk is more to my company itself. But by default, when we go for the shared, what's happening? Okay, all are not my company only. Do you understand? There is a risk even with the dedicated host. Because if that is down, if I have 40 instances, all belongs to my company only, I'll face more outage. In the shared environment, even if 40 servers are down in that host also, all are not related to my company only. One or two maybe belongs to our company. Okay, so I'm just explaining this option, but no company is using dedicated host. Most of them are going with the shared model. Otherwise, major, very bigger MNCs, they may go for 10 to 20 host also. Dedicated host, because they're going to run some hundreds of instances. Even one instance goes down also, they'll keep the high availability of one more instance. It would be automatically running. But for normal small and medium enterprises, this scenario is almost impossible. Very, very expensive, very costly. They can't afford that much budget. Because they need to take minimum 2 to 3 hosts need to take and high availability need to configure. That's all AWS will take care with the shared infrastructure. I have a doubt. One company and other company, two instances are running. Is it possible to access the data if running in the same host?
No, I think port will different.
Not only port, it's impossible to access one
Yeah, DN.
instance to another instance. If both are running in the same host also, that accessing is almost
Different.
impossible. But some companies will have the doubt. That is the reason they're not taking shared kind of host. They're going for
Reserve schedule.
dedicated host. Schedule also again in the shared host only they're going to get it. Dedicated, once you take the dedicated host, whether you use it or you don't use it, you need to pay money for the complete host.
In
Okay.
one host, how many VMs we can install instances?
Normally that depends upon the hypervisor. Like in VMware, it's 512 is the maximum.
512 instances.
512. Now in the latest versions, they're supporting even 1024 also. But practically, we don't install that many. Practically, we may keep 30 to 40 or 50 to 60 only is a very, very high-end kind of servers. Maybe for dev and QA, we may create more instances. Those are less configuration. Maybe 4 CPUs or 4 GB RAM, like that, maybe more instances. T2.micro, we are choosing, right? That's they may install hundreds of servers in the one host because they're giving a free of cost. That's all has been abstracted for us. We can't get that information from AWS. You got the point, right?
Yes.
For VMware, that maximums I said, but GenSource, that's their decision. Because AWS in the backend hypervisor they're using is not VMware. They're using GenSource. Okay.
Okay.
So now here we'll come to AWS here. So here if you come to this, you choose the different type of instance types. Even at the time of launch also you can choose, right? Okay, so here 458 types of instances. Just when you have time, just go through. And spot we can choose, reserved instances we can choose. Okay, but don't select all these options. It's very, very costly. So we can click for allocate a dedicated host. It's very expensive kind of things. Okay, so and we'll choose the spot instances how we can create. I'll explain. Go to the instance itself. Launch the instance. So these all are optional itself. So you go to the advanced options. So here if you want the purchasing option, you choose. Okay, so you choose here the spot instances. So what is the maximum price you can set it? Okay, if this price has been exceeded, what AWS will do is automatically it will terminate that. But that exceeding my budget, then automatically you can set a maximum price. So maybe assume normally uh, uh, 5.2 or 5.6 cents normally will get. But here I am telling 4.5. This price is depends upon the load. If more load is there, spot instance price is also high. If load is less, spot instance price is also less. So demand and supply, assume. If more demand is there, then spot instance price is also is high, because AWS no need to give you for cheaper price, because they're having already a demand in that. It's just like a share market kind of thing. Spot instance price depends upon the load on their data centers. The load on their data centers. I hope you got the point, right? Here you can set the maximum price also. If that price reaches, automatically they're going to. Otherwise, if someone come for this instance, they're going to delete that instance. Anyhow, we no need to worry for D2.micro because it's a free tier. For how many hours they're giving at free of cost for us?
750 hours
750 hours per month.
per
And
month.
per month. And here we have these instance types, right? Okay, so general purpose families. These all just remember. M means don't expect memory class. Okay, you may get confused. M7, not all these are not memory class. Memory class comes with R class. Okay, you want HPC, high-end computing. So maybe previously we'll have a very large scale computers, right? Okay, so like this here we are getting very high-end workloads. Okay, so more storage I want. So more read and write operations, millions of requests I want to process. Those kind of things will go for storage. Memory, mostly the database or large scale like NoSQL kind of databases. For that, memory optimize required. For web servers, for databases, better to go for more computing optimized. Okay, so these all people will ask us more in the interview wise also. What are the spot instances, advantages, disadvantages, on demand, anyhow by default hourly billing we are going to pay. And here I'll explain one more concept, try to understand. In this itself, these all the advanced options we need to understand going forward.
Like
Then
this is like AWS admin only, right?
which one?
Whatever
Yeah,
this.
but we need to suggest. Say suppose you go to a Bajaj store, he will take your requirements, right?
Yes.
Say which type of TV you want. Based on those client inputs, we also need to suggest. Anyhow,
No,
architect
no,
also will give.
I'm asking like job role.
Yeah.
These are will come under.
Yeah. These all mostly as of now, what we are discussing are more admin kind of job role and architect kind of job role.
Yes.
So going forward, we'll add more DevOps, these all. But the admin is the base kind of thing for all those. Okay. So now here I'll explain one small topic. Here we have, what is this? Credit specification. So what are the options we have is standard and unlimited. By default, we'll have the standard. If you set say unlimited here, it throws one warning, right? Warning or some message. Additional charges apply. Say, I hope you know about credit card, right?
Yes.
So what is if they give the limit of 2 lakhs and you can use that credit card whenever you want, you can use that credit card. Okay, in the same way, I use T2.micro, but all of sudden I got more load. But what is the cap for this is 1 CPU and 1 GB. If more load comes, what happens is for the new users, I may not get CPU and memory. But if I use this option of unlimited credit, okay, say I use 4 CPUs and 4 GB RAM. It supports because I'm going to get the credit from in that host itself from the other hardware. But what is the risk for us? What is the risk for us? If you use your credit card, you need to pay it or not?
Yes.
Yes, here also for the additional usage, what you have used, we need to pay the money. Say I used this 4 CPUs and 4 GB RAM, assume for 4 hours. then for that 4 hours, I need to pay more money. Okay. So can you guess this comes under vertical scaling or horizontal scaling? Is it vertical scaling or horizontal scaling?
Vertical.
Vertical, because the same instance, but more
CPU and RAM.
more CPU and RAM is increasing.
And
Another way we can do is by changing the instance type, by shutting down the instance also we can do. Okay. By shutting down the instance also, you can change the instance type. But if you change the instance type for 24 hours, you need to pay that amount. But here,
hourly basis.
if I use more, then only I'll pay it. If I don't choose credit specification, what's going to happen? If more load comes, it won't accommodate. That traffic may be not accepted. Our server may goes to crash also. Okay, so that kind of risk we have with the, if you have the less resources. So out of memory exceptions we may get, our server may hang, or new users are not able to get the application. So these kind of problems will get. For that, I'm going with credit specification. But risk is additional amount, we may get the bill also if the usage is more. And this part also comes under vertical scaling. Using the AWS auto scaling, we can do the horizontal scaling. 1 second. So here is already the date and time, everything is there in this. If you go to the recordings, already date and everything is there. And I'm adding EC2 snapshot AMI for yesterday class. What I have done, I have already added this.
Yes.
Okay, so it's already the timestamp and everything is already there in this. Okay, so from this you can save it to whatever the name you want. You can save it. Yeah, hi Anand. Please wait for 1 minute. One more guy will join, Nikhil. He will explain you the CloudWatch, and he is working for MNC company. He will explain his real-time work scenarios, all those on the EC2, all this.
Okay, Srikant, I'll wait.
Okay, please wait for.
Hello.
Yeah, Nikhil.
Yeah, hi, Srikant, sir.
Yeah. So I'll make you host.
Okay.
Yeah, already it's recording, Nikhil. You can take the session.
Sure.
1 second. Anant, is Sai is joining?
I will call him.
Please
Which will join.
coordinate. Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Nikhil, please start.
Yeah, sure, Srikant. Yeah, hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, so today we'll discuss about CloudWatch agent. So how many are you aware of monitoring of EC2 instances? Like, you have any slight idea on like what do we monitor and what should be monitored? Any idea on this part?
No, we are new to AWS.
Yeah, okay, fine. So generally speaking, monitoring. So for any environment, we need to monitor how your particular EC2 instances are working, right? So that we can take a decision if anything goes wrong, what needs to be done. Suppose if I consider an EC2 instance, so like what are the metrics will be there for EC2 instance?
CPU,
Basically, yeah.
memory, space, storage.
Yeah.
And rest of that URL monitoring.
URL monitoring, it doesn't come under normal monitoring, so it's a different kind of thing. Yeah. Apart from that, anything else? you can remember, or while creating EC2 instance, you can see like, you have created EC2 instance. Hello?
We can see AMI for network.
Lokesh or Anand, Bharat, Sai.
Sorry, I was joined late. What's going on?
So this session is about monitoring our EC2 instances.
Okay.
So we just started discussing on this part. So basically, for any EC2 instance, we'll be having certain set of metrics which we need to be monitored. So like CPU, RAM, disk usage, and if you say like, if you go in depth, you can see like how much of network is going in and out, how much of what do you say, like whether it was like status checks, alarm. So it's basically every instance will be having 2 status checks. You're aware of this one, right? No, let me know, like, you guys created EC2 instance. You know, like how to create EC2 instance.
Yes.
Yeah, we created.
Yeah. So how do you come to a judgment like your EC2 instance is fine and running?
We'll check the status, whether it's active
So
or.
yeah. So one thing is like firstly we'll see like what is the status of it, like whether it's running or stop state or it's a terminating state.
Yes.
That's the instance state. And then if you see the console, you'll be having one more tab called status check. So you feel like once it is 2x2 status check passed, you're able to log into the server. Not you are able to log into the server, like you'll see that instance health is fine, right? Have you observed the status check 2x2 status check passed, 2x2 check passed and all?
Yes, beside monitoring tab.
Yes. So basically every instance will be having 2 status checks. Right? One is for the instance and the other is for the particular host, where the instance has been created. So one is for, so basically to put in a simple term, like you can say one is for the, so you know, like where the EC2 instance has been hosted. So it will be there in the AWS, what do you say, data centers, right? All these instances will be there in the AWS data center.
Yes.
So for one check is the first check is to see like whether the AWS infrastructure is working fine or not. The second check whether the instance is working fine or not. So every instance will be hosted on particular hardware, right? So the first check is to check their AWS sites hardware is working fine or not, and the second one is that the EC2 instance which is being hosted on top of that hardware is working fine or not. If it passes 2 checks, then we'll say like, okay, instance is fine. We can work on that instance. So any questions or any doubts still now? Do you want me to re-explain about this status checks and all?
Yeah, could you please say it again?
Yeah, sure. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. So every instance will be having 2 status checks. One is, I can say like one is system status check, another one is instance status checks. All right. So system status check basically it monitors the AWS systems on which your instance runs. So basically, it will check or detect the underlying problems where with your instance that requires AWS involvement to repair. The first status check is the system. You can see like you can note it on as 2 status checks. One is system status check and the one is instance status check. The first status check belongs to AWS team. We don't need to worry about this system status check. So if anything goes wrong with the system status check, AWS team will be involved to repair it. All right. And this instance status check is where, so this particular hardware will be there, right? On top of this one, this EC2 instance will be hosted. So when you get instance status check fail, then we are responsible for this instance status check. So we need to see if RAM has been, if the CPU has been completely utilized, or the disk has been completely utilized, or if RAM has been completely utilized. Then we need to log into the server. We need to remove the unwanted files, and we need to kill the processes which are not necessary. Then we will be able to access that particular instance.
Hey, sorry to cut you off. Are you sharing the screen?
Oh, no, I'm not sharing the screen. So basically, so if you want me to share, I have a live environment which I can show you like what we'll do in a, let me share my screen then. Currently, I don't have any presentation kind of thing to share you on the screen, but end of the session, I will show you like how does the live, like what do you do in a live environment, like what will be your roles and responsibilities. Is it fine? Like if you are interested, I will show you like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
does a live environment will look like.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yeah. So where am I? So now you're aware of this instance status check and system status check.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So can anyone reiterate like what is system status check and like who is responsible for system status check and who is responsible for instance status check?
So for system AWS, how you can contact for them?
So basically there will be one option called AWS support. So let me share. Now I need to share my screen. Just give me a second. Able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there will be one option called
You can
AWS
please
support.
enlarge that screen.
So there will be option called support center. So here you can raise your support cases. Need to create a case, but usually like when you have enabled the particular subscription, then we'll be able to have like, so initially the accounts which you have created, it will be having a basic support. It doesn't cover all the, they won't give immediate help on all. So if you have enterprise support and all, you can go ahead and create the cases. Let me show you a couple of cases. This is how like, so suppose if you're not, let me take on, yeah, instance issue. So there is one ticket which has been raised. So let me show you like what is the context of this ticket. See, it's for failed instance status checks. Yeah, now call out check instance form. I mean, this has been raised by one of the teammates. I'll check instance. When you raise a support case, they will investigate and they will let you know like what went wrong and what should be done from our side. So they confirm there is no hardware issue or fail that. That means that they don't have this system status check fail. It is fine. They have nothing AWS support. I mean, from AWS side, there is no issue. Now they are telling like you need to what is things that would have gone wrong. If secret license is given network and out instance will. So this is basically how you go and raise a support case whenever something goes wrong with your system status checks. So here they're asking us to check the NIC cards and all. So what would be the cause for the system status check fail? It can be exhausted memory, it can be corporate file system, it can be incompatible kernel. So then we'll act accordingly with the, I mean, we'll find the issue, then we'll act accordingly. This so in the real time we handle this system status checks and all. Understood, right? So if I go to EC2, so this is a live environment where more than 600 instance has been hosted. So this is how your environment looks like. So whenever they ask you to check like how is the CPU utilization of if I say this particular instance, so we need to either one thing is like we need to go and see the monitoring. Here the monitoring is there, right? You need to click on it, and if they ask you for CPU utilization, you can see so its maximum is 1.2% or something like that. So now the graph is even. There is no anomalies observed, right? So if I take 1 week's graph, see it went above the normal threshold. Understood?
Yes,
So
yes.
at this point of time, you will be getting an alert saying like, okay, now the alert has been breached. You need to act. You need to log into the server. You need to check like what went wrong. Sometimes it will be getting automatically resolved. Sometimes we need to go inside and see the alert, like what is the CPU usage, and then we'll have a couple of monitorings. So you can see the system status. We can even configure the alarms for this one. How many times the system status check has been failed. Currently for this instance, there is no system status check fail. If you have any system status check fail, it will show it to you here. So this is a basic monitoring for an EC2 instances. See, this is very important to check like status checks, because in live environment, probably like if you ignore the alerts, either instance status checks will fail or system status check, it won't fail that easily. But this instance status check, you need to be very what do you say? You need to be very cautious on this kind of checks and all.
Instances status check means what type of issues will come mostly?
So mostly when an instance status, I mean, your Linux server would be out of memory or out of disk usage, or there will be particular kind of CPU, particular kind of process where the I mean, suppose if I take Python process, it will be continuously running, and it will be generating, it will be consuming most of your RAM. So then we need to log in. We need to see like the commands to see like how many of you are aware of Linux?
Yes.
Hello?
Free
I mean, the basic commands.
G or free-G or free-M you can give.
Free-M, it doesn't give you CPU, right?
The CPU means you can give top.
Yeah, top command, and then anything else?
Anything else?
I mean, like you give top command, then is there any other commands to check the processes? You have htop as well.
Yeah, PS-EF give that
Yeah.
will take a PIDs.
Yes.
PID.
Yeah, by giving PSFN EF or PSFN EO, you'll see the what are the processes which are running. I'll give one command for you. I mean, you can save it later, which I use to troubleshoot this kind of alerts. Let me paste in chat. So the second command will give you the list where I'm sorting this PID and this percent of memory CPU, and what is the top process which is having high CPU. I mean, which is consuming most of the CPU. You got the command, right? You can save it. So this would be the output of this command. I'm pasting it in the chat as well. I think everyone got a look at it. Like, what is the command? What is the output looks like?
Yes.
So in real time, like we'll see if there is any unexpected spike, like in the graph and all. We'll check with the application team and we'll fine tune the application to minimize the CPU utilization. And if any specific process like Java process is there, we'll just restart the particular Java process to clear the CPU usage. That's how we deal with the CPU alerts. Any question? So even after fine tuning or restart the process, the CPU utilization constantly high. We'll discuss with the customer about migrating to the more compute incentive instance type.
How to resolve the memory issues?
Yeah, memory issues we can resolve. Let me put it in this way. So the memory issue also we need to see the first PS-EA, the same thing, free PS-EO, PID.
Adding any memory or just like bouncing the instances?
Sorry, come again. Your voice is a bit.
Yeah, adding anything extra memory or just like bouncing the services?
Now we will be restarting the service itself. But make sure like when you going to restart the service, you need to take the we can't, because for the production server, you can't simply go and restart the service because it will definitely impact the production.
Yes.
We need to take the approvals. Yeah, we need to take the approvals. We need to, suppose if it's a very big environment, there will be multiple teams. Suppose if there is application, there will be a single application, but there will be different modules, right? Suppose if you take Flipkart, it will be have certain module for orders, for payments, right? For RDS, there will be separate team will be there. So we need to check what is the like who is using the particular instance. Then we need to reach out to the particular team member. Okay, boss, like this instance is consuming high memory. If you don't fix it now, I mean, if you don't look into like why this process is running more, then this instance will go down. Then you will be having production issue. That's how we need to convert. That's what we need to convert to the particular instance owner, and then he will ask, okay, wait for a few minutes, and this alert may come down. The CPU usage the RAM usage of CPU may come down. If it doesn't come down after 15 minutes, please restart the service. That's the approval which they will give to us, and we need to restart the service. Understood? Or any? So if it is coming again and again, so every day if it is coming 10 to 15 times, then what you do? It will be simply waste of your time, waste of customer's time as well, right? So at that point of time, we need to discuss with the customer. We need to ask the customer to migrate the instance. I mean, to change the instance type. You know the instance types, right?
Yeah, small, medium, large.
Yeah, micro.
Yeah, T2.micro, C4, M4. Now it doesn't go with small, medium, and large. You need to like if you, I mean, when you go to your live environment, or when you join the job, right, you need to be saying in this way, like this T2.micro, T4, like what does T4 say? What is M series? What is C series? C means compute, M means memory optimized instances. You need to, I mean, it's better to have a knowledge on like what are the instance types, what is the minimum configuration instance type. If you say T2.micro, the next question will be coming to you is like what is the CPU and memory of that particular instance? I think it's 1 CPU and 2 GB RAM. So you need to please note a little bit. I mean, have a little bit of information on these kind of instance types. This will definitely help you in your job when you be placed, right? This will be definitely helpful because you will be in a situation to handle this kind of situation where if the continuously if you're getting 10 to 15 alerts, you can simply tell them like it's because your particular instance is not capable of handling the load. You can migrate to the next instance type. So if it is C5.x large, you can ask them, okay, it's not you can move it to C5.2x large, considering the load which is there. We can move it to C5.2x, so we can change instance type of it. We'll monitor it for a few days, and then we will confirm that. Even if you move it to C5.2x large, sometimes it doesn't work. It might not work, right? You need to, what we do is we'll monitor 1 week or 2 weeks. We'll see how much we're getting at that time after changing instance type. Then we will be telling the customer, okay, it's fine. Now the environment, I mean, your instance is stable. We can go ahead and we can fix the instance type. That's how you need to come to judgment. Like first, you need to you should be in a position to size the instance type to the customer. Right.
Yes, got it.
Yeah.
Suppose
yeah, go ahead.
Suppose you don't want to go with that high price.
Yeah.
How can they resolve that?
No, there will be only two options, right? It's like
migrate. If you go with migrate, it will be like cost is double.
No, it's not double. Basically, if you see the pricing, hardly 10 to 20% will be increased. But end of the day, our job is to make the environment stable. So you'll be coming with our recommendations, And if the customer accepts it or not, it's up to them. If it's a good company where they have huge good budget to maintain their environment and all, they definitely go ahead and stabilize the environment. If it is if the people thinks like, okay, it's okay to have multiple alerts. So it's okay. Suppose what will happen if the 15 alerts were there? If the particular engineer who is working the shift, he's not. I mean, he skipped to notice the alerts. What will happen? Definitely, it will run out of the memory. Then the instance will fail, right? So the customer needs to be. I mean, if the customer is okay, like to take the risk and all, then it's fine. You can put the same instance type. Got it, right? So end of the day, usually like if you're working for a direct company, like suppose if you're working for Wipro, it's your direct company. So it's the decision making will be inside your company itself. But if you're working for a client, the decision maker will be a different person. Our job will only restricted to suggesting the customer, okay, this is the ideal instance type. If you go with this, these situations we can mitigate. Because end of the day, I mean, if you don't suggest these things on all, the end of the day, customer will come and ask you like, why my production is down, why there is impact in my, impact in my production servers. Then you can tell them, okay, we already suggested, it's your fault. I mean, just telling you the live scenario, how the things will be there. So they will be aware of these things. Hope this is helpful for you.
Yes, got it.
So coming to the disk related errors. So for disk related errors, we'll be having different commands. So anyone has any idea on this disk related commands? Yeah, I think one of you has said like df-sh, df-ht to check the current disk space, df-sh to see the size of the folder. So basically, let me give you some commands which I follow. Let me type it. Just give me a second. The whole intention of giving you all these commands and all is like, yeah, anyhow, you will be placed in one company or the other, but you need to be able to manage your job, right? So, because some of the people, they face this conversation without having any commands in hand and all. After immediately placing into the job, they will be definitely expecting you to work, right? From the first, not maybe from the first day, but they'll be expecting you to work, and they'll be checking your skills here and there. So you can use these commands. And let me give you one more command. Yeah, got the comments.
Yes.
Last one is to check after going to the particular. First, you will check like which folder is consuming more space. Then you'll go into that folder and you'll see like you'll give this find /type of size, and it will give the files which is greater than 100 MB. Then your job will be easier. Like, okay, we'll sort it on like which is greater than 100 MB and all. So, even to clear the logs and all, we need to. So there will be basically 2 to 3 types of processes to clear the logs. So one process is like they will be having a cron job setup. You know, right? Cron jobs. So when you put a script in the cron job, it will run at a particular interval of time. Suppose if I say like I have a server where the logs will be high. I mean, from morning to evening, there will be logs generated. And after my business, after my business hours, there won't be any logs. So what I do, like after 7 or 8 o'clock, I will run a cron job to clear the previous day logs, not the current day logs, or previous 2 days prior logs and all. So that my disk will be freed, and we call it as we'll call this as a log rotating. So if I feel like I want like 1 weeks of log, what I'll do is I will simply zip those logs, right? Instead of having a single files which consumes more memory, I will zip those logs. And then I'll place it in a separate folder or in the same folder. Then after 7 days or the 8th day, I will write a cron job. On the 8th day, you need to clear all the zip files. Got it, right? So whenever someone asks you, like, how do you clear, like, how do you manage your instances where you're getting frequent disk-related alerts? Like we need to say, like, we have some cron job setups to for the log rotation. We have a particular cron job which runs at a particular interval of time to clear the logs. So after clearing logs, this disk-related alerts will come down. So that even though if we get a disk-related alert, after a certain point of time, it will be automatically resolved because the cron job will be running at that point of time. So you got the context of this thing, right? Like what is cron job, like what is disk-related alert, what are the commands we need to use. Hello? Hello.
Yes, you can go.
Yeah. So any questions still now?
I'm fine.
Sai. Like how many years of experience are you going to put for your resume, in your resume, Lokesh?
On AWS, 3+.
Anyone currently working or everyone is looking for a job?
I'm working on not other out of cloud.
I mean, may I know the job role?
Jabroni WebLogic admin.
Okay. How about others? Anand, Bharat, Sai.
I'm working in a non-technical role.
Okay. So you guys have a chance. Yeah. You people got a chance to work on Linux environment? Anyone worked on Linux environment earlier?
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, I'm working.
Okay, fine. So fine. So you are aware of all these alert types and all, right? You will be having particular alerting method, monitoring methods. Like how
No, alerts will come, but not sure how to configure this type of alerts.
like how do you receive the alerts?
Uh,
For any instance or any server,
mail to mail.
you have configured from inside. Okay, got it. Then you will take the ticket and you'll act accordingly.
No, mail to mail we get alerts. We'll log into that host and we'll work on that.
Like how the setup has been done, like to how you're getting the mails from your server.
That is not sure. That is some separate team is there.
Okay, fine. So it's on-premise environment or a cloud environment?
On-premises. That's why I'm taking cloud.
Because because the reason why I asked you is like because the thing which we are going to discuss about CloudWatch agent, the similar thing we can do even with the CloudWatch agent. I think that's what your team would have done. You can set up an you can do a setup on Linux systems, like whenever the particular CPU or particular RAM or disk has been reached the thresholds, it will trigger your it will send you an alert to a particular mail IDs. So this AWS team, they come out with this solution called CloudWatch agent. Rather than going and set up for each and every server, they simply install the CloudWatch agent on top of every server. Then they will be able to get the CPU, RAM, and disk alerts. That's the reason, and it is not mandatory to install the CloudWatch agent on each and every server. It depends upon our requirement whether we need to monitor or not. So what some people, some organizations, they will feel like the pricing for CloudWatch agent is too high. They'll go with the third-party tools like Datadog, like Cited 4x7, and then Neurally. They can use Neurally, but it's way too expensive to monitor instances. Let me share my screen. I'll show you like how Site 24/7 dashboard looks like. Just give me a second. From how long you started taking this training? It's been how many weeks?
7 or 8 classes.
Let me share my screen. So this is how the site information dashboard looks like. So if you go to the server, now you can see like how many servers were down, how many are critical, how many in trouble, how many instances are in up state, like running state. So basically, it has been configured like whenever there is a critical alert or trouble alert, a mail will be coming to our inbox. Either we can monitor from dashboard, or once we get a mail, we can take that. We can look into the server. So if you see the trouble, why it is in trouble, so we need to see the memory has been exceeded by 86% because we are setting an alarm for 80%. Usually, how the alarms will be set is we'll be having 2 alerts. Like one is for criticality. I mean, one is for warning, and another is for critical issue. Like warning, we'll be setting a threshold for 80%, and for critical, we'll set it for 90%. So it's like once you mostly we need to clear the alerts before it going to critical state. So this particular server, it has reached already 86%. So if you see the memory of the server, you can see here the Java process consuming 90%. Able to see, right? The top processes. Hello?
Yes, yes. You're able to see.
Yeah, the Java process was consuming 90%, constantly 85, 86, 90. We see last 1 hour. 88% almost. So now we need to check with the particular instance owner, and we need to ask them like why the Java process is continuously high. Can we restart the Java process? That's how we will work on these alerts.
What is that? Like
Yeah, this
not trying.
which one? So it's this particular Nginx process. I mean, a particular process will be running right inside the system. So this Nginx process, this is a trend for this Nginx process, like how it is. How can I say? Like today at 8:52 p.m., there is a sudden spike in the Nginx process. So these are sudden spikes you can see for Nginx process all the time. Okay, maybe it will be working as a proxy. Maybe some huge request count was there to this particular server. So that's why the Nginx server has been shooted up. I mean, the usage of this Nginx process has been shooted up. These are the partitions inside the server. Then the slash, I mean, the root, it's almost 21%. So there is no alert. You can see here the individual threshold will be set to 90%. So that's a critical. What is the critical alert? If it reaches 90%, we need to act immediately. This is how we see. If it is 80%, it's double state. If it is 90%, you can see this one, discrimination threshold.
How to configure and how to add the host here?
So basically, we need to install a site information agent inside the servers, just like we install CloudWatch agent, right? So the same way we need to install the site information agent inside the each and every EC2 instance. And prior to that, we need to establish the connectivity between our site 24/7 to our AWS account. So there will be one policy which will be given by site 24/7 team. We need to add it in IAM role. Then by using that IAM role, AWS will be trusting this site 24/7 to give the traffic out. So obviously, if the traffic is out, then only right this particular site 24/7 can analyze it. Can analyze the how many. It will analyze the processors, the disk usage, and all. We won't be sending the what do you say, data in, it will be only sending the data out. Got it? Any question here? So here, if you go to add a server monitor, it will ask you which type of server monitor. Then this is the these are the commands for it. We need to we need to paste these two commands inside the server. Then it will be able to, it will install and it will start populating the data to the dashboard. Right? And it has it has too many use cases from Cytogen, but not all the people will be using. See, we can monitor so many things here.
Suppose I have hundreds of servers. We need to install hundreds of servers. Same.
Yeah, that's a good question. So one thing is you can do. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, one thing is either you need to manually install the agent on all the servers. And the other thing, there's one more option called let me show you this cloud option. So here in the cloud option, if you integrate your AWS account rather than by using AWS policies, you need to integrate your AWS account to the site 24/7. Then if you simply click on enable integration for each and every service, then you can, without using the agent, you can get all the data here. But the only reason why we are not integrating EC2 instance, all the EC2 instance here is because the licensing cost will be too much for this cloud kind of monitoring. The licensing cost will be too much. And for the server monitor, it will take 2 licenses. For this kind of integration with the cloud, it will take 4 licenses for one server. So which increases your cost of monitoring, right? That's why we don't prefer that one. This has been there since the flow master. Because this particular server, we already installed the what do you say? We have installed the CloudWatch agent on it, but someone would have enabled this one, so this now disabled it. Say flow master one, server monitors. This is all the list of servers where agent has been installed. So there is about site 24/7. Any questions here?
How we can monitor these lines, whatever from top, bottom to top?
Shona, you want me to show this one, CPU utilization? So it's like how your CPU utilization has been, like, is it fine? So now it is stable. Now it currently at average of 22.18%. So whenever this goes, whenever any policy is running, I mean, there will be huge. If I take last 24 hours, I think there is a stable instance. Yeah, still you can see it, but not more than 30 to 40%. So we won't be getting any alerts on this. Probably, I think for this instance, we can downgrade the instance type. See, if you see the CPU utilization of my instance is not at all reaching more than 50%, right? And if I take for last 7 days, what is the average of my CPU usage is 23%. If I take last 7 days, if I take this month completely, still not even 30 to 40%. The average is still 23 itself. So now I can suggest the customer saying like this particular instance is not using the complete CPU. So we can degrade the instance type where we can have some cost savings on it. Got it, right?
Yes. And what is
so
below one? Okay. Go on.
So this one, right? This network, how much of network is going in, how much of network is going out. It's all about network. It's like how much data is going in and coming out.
How do we know coming in, coming out, going out?
So even I'm not much. See here, what are the number? See, suppose if I take this is an suppose if it is an web. What do you say? If it is an front end server, I'm taking an example of the front end server.
Mm.
Okay, suppose what the front end server do, it accepts the request from the client. I mean, if you are an end user, it will accept the request from your side, and it needs to send the output to you, right? Suppose if you are shopping on a Flipkart, there will be one web page, right? So if you click on shoes or any apparel, it's giving you output, right?
Yes.
Where are you getting this output from? Obviously from a server. That is a network in and network out. So you will be asking the server something and the server will be giving an output. It's a elastic block storage related graph. So for every instance, we'll be attaching one EBS volume, the disk one, right? So it is about that one, like how the disk is, what is the health of the disk and all.
What happened there?
This one.
Why did you go high?
This one even I'm not sure. Like it's showing EBS read bytes and EBS write bytes. Probably whenever. So read is something like what is the data which is already there in your EBS volume. The server will read the data. So I can say here. Okay, for your question, I can say here. So there's so much of data has been coming inside to this server. See, all is right? EBS write. So write means something like there will be some kind of logs will be generated inside your EBS volume. Some logs will be constantly generated inside your service. And then read means like some other service, some other process is trying to read your data. Yeah, this all about this Saturn Power 7. So this is how we monitor this our EC2 instances.
That's good.
So then why do we need a CloudWatch agent?
Monitor the instances.
What do you monitor from the instance? And why should you monitor the instance? I mean, this type of questions will be helpful to go in depth, like you can understand more and more about this concept. What do you monitor? Why should you monitor? What happens if you don't monitor?
We need to be 100% available to the customer.
Yeah.
And to reduce the outages.
Yeah. And to stabilize the environment. So even AWS will give the CPU utilization without installing any CloudWatch agent. Then why should we be having a CloudWatch agent? What is the reason for it? Even AWS without CloudWatch agent, have you ever noticed like after spinning up a EC2 instance, we go to the monitoring tab, you can see a CPU utilization box over there, but you won't see in AWS console after spinning up of your instance, you'll be able to see CPU utilization of the particular server, but you won't be able to see the RAM utilization, the disk utilization. Did you observe these points?
I think they will be very basic. AWS.
Yeah, why they are giving only basic?
With low price.
No, it's not about the price. So the whole idea of this one is like, so these instances will be running on top of some hardware, right? Will be hosted on top of hardware. So where the hardware is located in AWS data centers. So in AWS, we call this as shared responsibility model. So AWS will be responsible for only until certain point of time. I mean, they have their own restrictions. And as customer, we have our own restrictions and we have our own things to handle. So this so on top of one hardware, there will be multiple EC2 instances will be hosted. So AWS have control only on top of the hardware, not AWS controls only hardware, not the EC2 instance which will be running on top of instance. The instance belongs to the customer. I mean, if you have AWS account, that particular instance, it belongs to you. And AWS doesn't even, they can't even log into that server. Yes, they can see the metadata, but not all the related things which has been there in the server. That's why with the help of CloudWatch agent, you will be allowing the AWS, you will be allowing AWS to read your RAM and to read your disk related things. That's why, that is the reason why we need to have an CloudWatch agent to get the RAM and disk utilizations. See, why you can ask me like why it is giving CPU. So what's happening inside there is like, suppose the hardware is having 100 CPU capacity. It's giving you only probably one CPU or two CPU depending upon the upon your request, like what is the CPU, T2.micro or T4.micro, not micro, T4.large. So depending upon your request, it will be allocating you a certain type of CPU from the 100 CPUs. So it can read, okay, this guy asked only for 2 CPUs. So they can get the data from their hardware, like how much of CPU is being utilized, how much is idle. That's why they can give you a freely, they can monitor your CPU utilization. Apart from CPU utilization, they can't monitor anything. Understood, or do you want me to, any questions, or do you want to have any?
Yeah, I have one doubt. Whenever
Yeah.
we're typing the top command, it will give CPU memory is like more than 100%. How it will show that?
So it's like, so if it has a 4 CPU core, so the CPU can handle 400% of load. Suppose if one,
there is four CPUs are there, right? In that case.
Yeah. So if in case if it is 4 CPU and it is 100%, there's no issue. If it is 4 CPUs and 400%, then yes, there is an issue with your CPU usage. First, you need to select how many cores does that particular instance is having. Then you can come to a conclusion. Like, okay, you can have your own analysis of it. Okay, fine. If it is 200%, still have 3 more cores which are available. It can still have the capacity to handle the load. In the top command, you can even see the idle ID. ID means idle percentage. Got it, right? You will be having multiple things like US means usage. What is how much of CPU has been used? How much it is idle? So you have a basic understanding on like what is CPUs and what is RAM, what is disk utilization. Then once you have this idea, then you can, when you're launching the EC2 instance, right, you will be getting number of questions. Okay, if I want to extend my disk size, what should I do? What are things I need to, what are the steps I need to follow? So these kind of things you can come up, or you can have your own you can have your own lab, or you can have your own use case. Suppose if I say like if there is 100% of disk has been utilized, then you can say like, okay, we increase the EBS volume size, and increasing EBS volume is a very simple task. Inside the console, you need to go and you need to put a certain number. Okay, from 20 GB to 30 GB increasing. But what should we do after increasing the EBS volume? So we need to go to the FS tab. We need to make the entries. Then we need to mount on top of on our folder. So there's a particular steps will be there. So unless you are aware of this all the process, there is no point of telling like, okay, I know how to extend an EBS volume. So this is how you need to make your you need to learn the concepts. So if you so I think for Lokesh, if you are having a good on-premises knowledge, you can relate it with how the AWS works. It will be very easy to get the concepts. It's very easy to work as well. Yes, like everyone, you can first you need to understand the on-prem, how does on-prem works. then if you relate each and everything with the cloud, it will be very easy to understand the concepts. So any questions? So you try to, what you do is like, you take an EC2 instance, try to install an CloudWatch agent on top of it and see like whether all the metrics has been populating in a CloudWatch agent or not. You take it as a case study or a kind of small lab and all. You try to spin up an EC2 instance, and what are the prerequisites to install a CloudWatch agent, and what are the metrics that you can see after installing the CloudWatch agent. Because there will be so many steps involved after installing CloudWatch agent. So unless you make an hands-on hands-on practice of this one, you won't be able to answer these kind of questions in your real-time job situation. Understood, right? And my only intention is like you guys, you will be able to handle the when you land into job, right? You need to be able to properly handle the people over there. Because I saw so many people who struggle to retain the job.
And Prometheus is like same CloudWatch only, right?
Not CloudWatch. Prometheus and Grafana is a different kind of thing. Even I didn't get a chance to look into Prometheus, but it does monitoring as well. It's used for monitoring. Basically, in our project, they use it for monitoring the Kubernetes pods, clusters, namespaces, and all.
Like both are same only, right?
Yeah, both is the work.
Monitoring only.
Yeah, the nature is same, but they will be having a different kinds of setup. The Grafana which I showed you, I mean, the graphs and all which you showed here, right? Which I showed you inside 24/7. The same thing Grafana does. Grafana give a graphical representation of the metrics.
Okay. Prometheus is like monitoring alerts or
Yeah,
something.
Prometheus is basically for monitoring itself, but I didn't get a chance to look into it exactly. How does the dashboard looks and all.
Okay. Thank you.
So please go ahead and try to install CloudWatch agent. If you're facing any trouble, just go through AWS documentation, see like how to install a CloudWatch agent, or you can have some reference documents, reference videos. You can come up with your doubts. You can ask Srikanth like the doubts and all. Only one thing like which helps you in your real-time environment is like the hands-on labs which you're going to practice. Even a small lab will definitely help you once once you're facing the customer or any job, it will be very helpful to you. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would like to show you one more thing. Just give me a second. If you're really interested in doing hands-on labs, I'll give you a link where you can, if you have AWS account, you can simply follow the steps and some labs. Let me share you my screen. So these provided by AWS, they will architected labs. So if you want to look into just give me a second. Yeah, this would be helpful to you to have an hands-on lab. So you can start with EC2. You can see like how does just go through each and every step. Like just don't simply click next and next. Read each and every line, so it will be having a proper information. What does the lab help you to achieve? Because we definitely, I mean, everyone will do the same thing. Like, okay, we'll see the step, we'll cancel, but try to reach each and every line which is there in the lab. It will be really helpful to have a good knowledge on various concepts. Because one thing is like the people definitely judge you the vocabulary you use in the working environment. So like the person with a good experience, he uses a different kinds of terms about AWS. The person who have a basic entry level knowledge, he will be having a different. He will use a different kinds of terms. Got it right? What I was trying to tell.
Yes, got it.
Yeah, yes, got it.
So you see this how does auto scaling goes. It will give each and every step, like what is like how to achieve this one. So you have a number of you don't need to go the S3 and FS, but if you're interested, you can go the Amazon S3 and EFS. But you can at least you can try till this one, security and monitoring, which I was discussing, right? It will give on each like stepwise guidance to you. What does CloudWatch work? Or what is a CloudWatch alarm? What is a SNS? But I covered only till here. What is EC2 instance in CloudWatch? Then once you have an EC2 instance in CloudWatch, then we'll set up a CloudWatch alarm. So we need to get the alarm side. Without simply setting up a CloudWatch, installing CloudWatch agent doesn't is not sufficient. We need to set up a CloudWatch alarm. So to get the notifications, we need to attach an AWS SNS. Then we'll get an email. AWS SNS is a service where it helps you to get the emails to our inbox. Simple notification service. So this lab will definitely help you to create all these things in a single go. To create a simple notification service topic, SNS topics. It will launch. You will launch EC2 instance and configure CloudWatch alarm. I think with the things which we discussed today, this lab will be helpful to you. So I'm sharing.
This is just like screenshots lab only, right?
Yeah, they will be. Yeah, for your reference, they're giving you screenshots because people will get confused, right? But you need to do the lab in your own account.
Okay.
So they're asking you to from you inside your AWS console, you need to click on SNS. Then you need to click on topics. Then you need to click on create topic. Then you need to create next step. You need to give a topic name. Then next step. Then what is the topic name? They're giving some example topic names. Then what needs to be? We need to create subscription for it. We need to accept the subscription. We need to give a mail ID. So then you'll receive a mail to your inbox saying that you need to confirm the subscription. So now here the catch is like, what happens if you don't confirm the subscription, and how long will the? I mean, when will this link expires? You need to see these things as well. Like if you want to go deep dive, you need to see all these things. So now once you confirm subscription, it will be popping. It will be changing the status of it. What is the status? Confirmed or pending? You can see here. So here, if it is not confirmed, it will show it as a pending here in the status. Then you launch an EC2 instance, step by step how to launch EC2 instance. And then they'll ask you to create an CloudWatch alarm. Yeah, configure CloudWatch alarm. For this server, how do you go and create a CloudWatch alarm? You need to go to manage detail monitoring. Then we need to enable detail monitoring. Then we need to check the instance. We copy the instance. Everything. So you have like each and every step has been captured by AWS as a basic training for you. Okay. So make sure you delete your all the resources once you finish this lab, or else you'll be having unnecessary cost on all. I'm sharing this link with you. It will be helpful for you to practice the labs and all. Okay. Any questions or any doubts so far? Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, yeah, fine. Hope the session is helpful, right? I mean, it's a useful session. Then if there's no questions, I will wind up the session.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Class.
showing a real time on
Yeah.
monitor.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, I'm closing the call. Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
good night.